Hello and welcome to this video. This is ratio lesson 6. Previously, we have done lesson 1 to 5, and this is the lesson 6 on ratio. And this lesson is we are still talking about the uses of ratio. Now, and in the previous video, we talked about using ratio to find the corresponding value of quantities. And then in this video, we are talking about the second use of ratio, which is using ratio for sharing. And I'm going to start by solving the following examples. Number one here, it says share 45 orange for Ada and Edet in the ratio 3 to 2. How many orange will each person have? Here now we have the sharers. The sharers here are the sharers here is Ada, and we also have Edet. And the ratio they are sharing is orange is 3:2. That means that Ada will have the higher share and Edet will have the smaller share. Then one thing we need to do is we need to know our total ratio. Total ratio is going to be found as 3 plus 2. That you add up the ratio that you are giving. That is 3 plus 2, which is going to give us 5. So 5 is our total ratio. Now we are going to do the sharing according to the ratio now. So we are going to first of all start with Ada's share. How many orange is Ada going to have? We start by now to find anybody's share. You start by the person's ratio over the total ratio multiplied by the quantity to be shared. That is the person ratio. That is Ada's ratio in this. From this place, so that Ada's ratio is 3. That means you are going to write 3 over the total ratio, which is 5. 5, then multiply by what is to be shared. And here we see that they are sharing 45 oranges. That means we are going to multiply by 45 oranges. So now we can now simplify this. We know that 5 can divide this number. That is 5 can go into 5, which will give us 1. And 5 into 9 will give us, into 45 will give us 9. So we are now left with what? 3 multiplied by 9. 3 multiplied by 9 oranges, which is going to give us 27 oranges. That means Ada is going to carry what? 27 oranges. Now, having done that, we are going to find Edet's share now, the share of Edet. So Edet's share is going to be now, you start with Edet's ratio, which is 2. That is 2 over total ratio is 5. Multiply it by the amount or quantities to be shared, which is 45 oranges. Now we can now simplify this. As usual, 5 can go into these numbers. 5 divided by 5 give us 1. Then 45 divided by 5 will give us 9. So we're now left with 2 multiplied by 9 oranges. Now that gives us 18 oranges. So here now we have seen the share of each person, that Adas is going to have 27 orange, and the Edet is going to have 18 orange. Now we are going to see have question 2. Question 2 says Olu, Ade, and Ayo shared 30 naira in the ratio 1 to 2 to 3. How much does Ayo take? Now we are dealing with 3 sharers. Now the people involved in this sharing is Olu, Ade, and Ayo. So we have this, and they are sharing this amount of money in the ratio of 1 to 2 to 3. That means Olu's ratio is 1, Ade's ratio is 2, and Ayo's ratio is 3. Then also, like I said before, we need to know our total ratio. So the total ratio is going to be the sum of this ratio. That is 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is going to give us 6. Then from here now we can find the share of each person. But in this question, we only asked to find how much Ayo is going to have. So we are only going to find the Ayo's share, which is going to be Ayo's share is equals to Ayo's ratio is 3. So you put your 3 here over the total ratio. Total ratio is 6. Then we are going to multiply it by the amount to be shared, which is 30 naira. So now we can simplify. 6 can go into 6 and 30. That means 6 into 6 will give us 1. Then 30 divided by 6 will give us 5. They will now multiply what you have in. You have 3 times 15 naira, which is going to give us 15. 3 times 5 naira, which is going to give us 15 naira. That is Ayo's share. You can equally go on and look for Olu's share and Ade's share. Then number 3, now we go to number 3 that says the three angles of a triangle are in the ratio 1 to 2 to 3. Calculate the size of the smallest angle. Now we are finding the size of the smallest angle. In this question, we know that there are the sum of angles, the sum of angles in a triangle. We know it to be what? We know it to be 180 degree. Now this is it. And then total ratio also need to be known. Total ratio is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is 6. Now they say we should find the smallest angle. The smallest angle usually has the smaller ratio, which is 1. That means that the smallest angle is going to be what? What is the ratio of the smallest angle? The ratio of the smallest angle is 1. So that we are going to have 1 over the total ratio, which is 6, then multiply by the what? The total angle, the sum of angle in a triangle, which is 180. So we are going to multiply it by 180 degree. Then 8 can go into this number. 6 can go into this number. That is 6 into 6 is going to give us 1. And 6 into 180. First of all, you can do 6 into 18, which is going to give us 3. Then you add your 0. That is 30 degrees. So we are going to have 1 times 30 degrees, which is going to give us 30 degrees. So the smallest angle in that triangle is 30 degrees. Similarly, you can find the biggest angle. We can find the biggest angle. That means biggest angle is the angle with the biggest ratio, which is 3. So we have 3 over 6, which is the total ratio, multiplied by 180 degree, which is the sum of angle in triangle. Now we can simplify this. 6 into 6 is 1, and 6 in 180 is 30 degrees. So we are now left with 3 times 30 degree, which is going to give us 90 degree. So the smallest angle is 30 and the biggest angle is 60. You can also find the median angle, which is 2. Do that by yourself. And then one more question before we end this video is question 4. Let us do that. Let us go through it briefly. You can see it says Joel, Jerry, and Jesse shared 200 oranges, so that for every 2 oranges that Joel had, Jerry had 3. And for every 3 oranges that Jerry had, Jesse had 5. How many did each person get? Now, this question is saying that we have 3 people here involved in this sharing of oranges. So we have the Joel, we have Jerry, and we have Jesse. And they share this orange. Now, the ratio is not clearly given to us. If you can see, they say that for every 2 orange that Joel had, that means for every 2 orange that Joel had, Jerry had 3. So if Joel had 3, Jerry had if Joel had 2, Jerry had 3. And for every 3 that Jerry had, Jesse had 5. That means for every 3 that Jerry had, Jesse had 5. So this is what it's all about. So this is how to express it in ratio. That means they share the orange in 2 ratio 3 ratio 5. And they're asking us how much did each person get. Now, one more thing to do is we need to know the total ratio. Total ratio is going to become 2 plus 3 plus 5, which is going to give us 10. Now we can now go ahead and find each person's shares. We start with Joel's share. Joel's share is, what is Joel ratio? Joel ratio is 2. That is 2 over 10, which is the total ratio, multiplied by how many oranges? 200 oranges. That is multiplied by 200. So 0 can cancel 0. So we're not left with what? 2 times 20 oranges, which is going to give us 40 oranges for Joel. Similarly, we're going to go to Jerry now. Jerry's share. What will be Jerry's share? Jerry's share, you start with his ratio, that is 3. So 3 is his ratio, then over the total ratio, which is 10, multiplied by the quantity to be shared, which is 200 oranges. Now, 0 can divide this 0. That means we are going to we're now left with 3 times 20 oranges, which is going to give us 60 oranges. So there are 60 oranges for Jerry. And finally, we are going to calculate Jesse's share now. Jesse's share of the orange is going to be what is Jesse's ratio? 5. His ratio is 5. So you put down your 5 over total ratio, which is 10. 10 multiply it by the quantity to be shared, which is 200 oranges. Now 0 can cancel 0. So you're now left with 5 multiplied by 20 oranges, which is going to give us 100 oranges. So that is their share respectively. So we now end it here. Please, other videos will be given to us in the description. Other videos on ratio, check the description for further video on ratio, and please try to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for further video. Thank you.